Summary of photograph 51 by Anna Ziegler. Rosalind Franklin and a few of her co-workers and competitors take the stage to tell the story of the race to find out how DNA works in London in the 1950s. They do this by mixing choir address with quickly changing scenes. Rosalind Franklin, a Jewish-British scientist in her mid-30s who works as an X-ray crystallographer, comes back to London in January 1951 after living in Paris for a few years to work as a researcher at King's College. Rosalind, on the other hand, gets a rude awakening when she meets her co-worker Maurice Wilkins. She was brought to King's as Maurice's helper as he works to figure out the structure of DNA. Rosalind is furious, but Wilkins tells her to see their deal as a partnership. As Rosalind and Wilkins start to work together, it becomes clear that they are very different in many ways, including how they act, what they believe, and how they do their jobs. Wilkins doesn't bother to listen to Rosalind and calls her Rosie or Miss Franklin, not Doctor. As Wilkins' insults mount, Rosalind becomes more and more resistant to his repeated attempts to apologize for his mistakes in speech and behavior and begin again with their partnership on the right foot. Ray Gosling, Rosalind's graduate student research assistant, tries over and over to ease the tension between the two. There are times when Rosalind and Wilkins have friendly chats, like when they talk about a West End production of The Winter's Tale. But in the end, Wilkins always makes Rosalind feel used and disrespected. As Rosalind starts working in her own area of the lab, she starts writing to Don Casper, an American biophysics PhD student who is also Jewish and trying to make it in a tough field. Rosalind and Gosling keep using an X-ray machine to take pictures of DNA crystals. Gosling tries to warn Rosalind to be careful around the machine, but Rosalind doesn't listen and often steps right into the beam. A loud and happy young American scientist named James Watson comes up to Wilkins after he gives a talk on DNA at a meeting in Naples. Watson wants to study crystallography at King's and help Wilkins win the race to figure out how DNA is put together, but Wilkins says there is no race. Watson talks to another scientist, Francis Crick, a researcher at Cambridge, and the two of them start working hard together to make a model of DNA's structure. Wilkins tells Gosling and Rosalind to put in even more work when he gets back to King's College after learning that other scientists are also trying to figure out the secret of DNA. Wilkins keeps giving talks all over Europe. Rosalind gets angry when she sees he's using the research they did together as his own. Rosalind refuses to work with Wilkins or even talk to him, which makes things more tense in the lab. Because Rosalind is being so cold, Wilkins gets more and more angry. He goes to see Crick and Watson at Cambridge to tell them how hard it is to work with her. Crick and Watson are happy to make fun of Rosalind with Wilkins, both in Cambridge and later at Rosalind's own talks in London. When Crick and Watson go too far, though, and quickly piece together parts of Rosalind's study to make a badly rendered model that is wrong, Wilkins starts to doubt their methods. When Rosalind and Gosling get back to London, they develop a picture they just took with their X-ray camera and look at the strange new picture. They are looking at photograph 51, which is the 51st picture they have made and the first one that clearly shows DNA has a helix shape. Gosling is thrilled about the discovery, but Rosalind doesn't think it's right to share results too quickly. She wants to leave the picture in her desk drawer for a while before writing about it or showing it to anyone, not even Wilkins. Rosalind is a Jewish woman scientist, so she knows she must never be wrong. Later that night, Gosling takes the picture from Rosalind's desk and gives it to Wilkins because he thinks the guy should see the results. Watson goes to Rosalind's lab at King's College in January 1953 to try to get her to work with him and Crick on the race they're all in. Rosalind says no, so Watson walks down the hall to see Wilkins. Watson tells Wilkins that he deserves to work with people who want to get along, do the work together, and share their results. And Wilkins agrees. He then shows Watson photograph 51, which he has been thinking about all morning. When Watson sees what the picture shows, he quickly goes back to Cambridge with Crick to start working on a new model that they know will change their lives and maybe even the whole world. Don Casper comes to King's to work with Rosalind. As she gets a little distracted by her feelings for him, Wilkins starts taking her work and giving it to Watson and Crick so they can make their model quickly and correctly, as the play suggests. After seeing Casper and Rosalind talk at a party in Cambridge, Crick and Watson are also happy that Casper has arrived. They know that they will have more time together while she isn't working on her study. Following a sick night at dinner with Casper, Rosalind finds out that she has 2 big cancerous growths, one in each ovary. They finish their model and post their results. Watson is thrilled, but Crick says the thought of fame is too much for him. Rosalind goes back to the lab after leaving the hospital, determined to keep working. Wilkins tells her about Watson and Crick's model and bemoans that he and Rosalind have lost the race. But Rosalind says that the world has won, not just them. Rosalind feels bad because she thinks she could have seen what was right in front of her the whole time if she had more time. She feels sorry for herself and starts to question many things in her life, some of which are in her control and some of which are not. But she gets over her sadness and starts to look forward to continuing her work and going to a meeting in Leeds next month. In the end, Rosalind's ovarian cancer kills her before she can get to Leeds. Wilkins comes into the action and tells everyone to start again, which breaks up the story of the play. He and Rosalind bond while being stuck in space and time, and Wilkins says he's sorry he didn't try to meet Rosalind halfway. She too says she's sorry for not working with him. While Rosalind and Wilkins are trying to recall the name of the actress whose performance Rosalind admired in The Winter's Tale, they are unable to come up with anything and have to surrender themselves to the idea that she simply did not stand out. This is a significant and heartbreaking moment for both of them.
About the author. Anna Ziegler was born in New York and went to a number of prestigious schools, such as St. Anne's School in Brooklyn, Yale University, the University of East Anglia, and New York University. She studied and improved her craft for many years before her big break, Photograph 51, opened to great reviews in London's West End in 2015. Nicole Kidman's first theater part in decades was in the production, which made Ziegler famous all over the world. Photograph 51 got the 2016 What's on Stage Award for Best New Play in London. It was also called one of the best plays of the year by The Washington Post and The Telegraph, among others. Ziegler's work has been performed at an array of experimental and well-known theaters since then, including the Roundabout Theatre Company, the Manhattan Theatre Club, the Williamstown Theatre Festival, and the Gethin Playhouse.
Hope we summarized it fully and you liked it. Please hit the like button and subscribe to our channel so that we are motivated to create more videos.